Okay, so I think it's actually working this time. I just did a completely separate stream there, and my audio was just not happening. Just give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, you can hear me. Great. Yeah, so I did just start streaming for like 10 minutes, and I didn't even notice that I had no audio going on. I don't know why, but my microphone and my computer and everything was just not being picked up, but I think now it is. If I play this bass, you can hear that, I assume. It looks like you should be able to. Yeah, anyway, my name is Max, and I do these streams every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Did I repost a new link? No, I didn't. That's a great idea. Okay, give me 1 sec here. I just need to post this. Yeah, this, I don't know what it is, why this didn't work out today, but that's fine. We're starting again. We're gonna make it happen. Let me just edit my original post. This is on my Facebook page, by the way. If anyone wants to stay updated on when I'm streaming, I do have a Facebook page where I post this kind of thing. Okay. Good. And new link. Okay. Hopefully that keeps us happy. Great. Okay. So let me just restart this page. This is all the most interesting stuff to do on a stream, right? You just set up your stream post starting the stream. I think people are super into that. Okay, so yeah, I'm continuing on working on the beat I've been doing for the last 9 weeks. This is the 10th week, which will actually be the last week I'm working on this song. So that's going to be over 20 hours, actually, that I've been working on this one live. 20 hours live on it. I actually haven't worked on it really off the stream. And that's definitely average for me. Like, this song is not close to being done. In terms of time, it will take me at least double, if not much more. Songs on average take me between, I don't know, 50 and 100 hours to complete, depending on the complexity of the song. But this kind of thing that's like a journey and changing a lot and is something I like to put a lot of care into, yeah, it takes me a very long time to make these things. But that's the joy of it. The joy is not to have it done, but is in the doing of it. So I wouldn't want it any other way, really. Yeah, so I'm going to make this the last stream on this particular song, and then I'm going to find some time in the next few weeks, hopefully, to work on it, and then I will post the finished version with a full beat breakdown when it is done. We'll see when that is. So what I'm going to do today is work on the new section that I started last week, which I'm pretty jazzed on. I'm going to play it from the start now, and then, yeah, we will just listen up until the new section, and then I'll start working on that new section there, and see what happens. Here we go from the start. Transition, something cool is happening here. It's to be determined. So yeah, this part I started last week. What I'm going to devote my attention to today, basically. Okay, great. So I like it. Yeah, I'm going to work on this section today, at least try to flesh out the parts of this section and some details, and then try to look at the transition from the heavy section into this. I'm calling this kind of the cave dwelling, I don't know why, cave dwelling session. At the end of last stream, we talked about, I was playing this game. We're playing a game called Horizon Zero Dawn, which is like this thing where you play as a woman in the far future where humanity has gone through a crisis and now you're left with these kind of tribe people, but they're amongst the old technology and machinery of the previous civilization. And so, I don't know, I get a kind of vibe here. Some kind of like tech stuff mixed with ancient stuff and I kind of tribal things. So yeah, we're calling this part the cave dwelling part. I don't know why, because people in caves listen to this kind of music, do they not? At least in the far-flung future in our ancestors who recover from our great crisis. So yeah, okay, good. Welcome to anybody new to the stream, by the way. Happy to have you here. My name's Max, and please feel free to chat with me if you like, ask any questions, or if you just want to chat about music or anything in general, I'm happy to do that while I work on this. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing I want to do actually is work on the bass tone. Last time I just duplicated the sub from the previous section and just like saturated it, and it sounds fine, but it definitely needs more interest in it. So this will be a little bit of time where I can talk about synthesis and sound design a bit, which I do have quite a bit of experience with, so maybe this will be helpful to somebody, I don't know. I'm going to turn off my saturation for now, and let's just solo this, what did I call it, cave bass, which for now doesn't sound like a cave bass at all. I don't know if it's ever going to sound like a cave bass. It's just going to sound like a sub right now. If that even, I mean, depending on the speakers you're listening to, that might not even come through for you yet. That's super low notes I'm playing there. I'm going to be working in Serum with this sound, and what I'm going to do really is let this part play in solo, and I'm going to start trying to shape its tone a little bit. And I'm just going to experiment because I'm going to try a few things that are not in my normal wheelhouse of synthesis. I don't come from the world of making super awesome gnarly basses like in electronic music. I do that at times, but it's not my expertise for sure. My synth expertise definitely lie more in making pretty sounds, pretty playable, organic kind of sounds. So making like distorted, cool basses is not my forte, but it's about to be. And yeah, so what I'm looking for is something that has organic qualities. I'm trying to make a bass that's similar to actually the bass in the drop section, which is solo. This kind of thing. That thing I'm calling organic in that it's ever-changing, like a real instrument or a real animal or a real something. Its tone is not static, and that's a big thing in synthesis, that as soon as a tone becomes static, it loses a sense of authenticity, or I shouldn't say authenticity, maybe we could say that, a sense of reality, that it couldn't exist in the natural world anymore. And funny enough, you think, okay, well, of course we're programming synths, they don't exist in the natural world. But something happens when you do include enough interest in your synth design that, I don't know, you almost become willing to believe subconsciously there's some effect where the sound feels natural, feels like it really exists as a thing in the world, as opposed to this is just some bits going bang, you know, like that's cool sometimes. And I'm a huge fan of like chiptune music, 8-bit stuff, because that's all, not all, but a lot of it is quite static noises. But what we're going to do here, and what I'm always striving for really when I'm making synth sounds, is to make this digital thing sound like an organic thing to a certain extent. An organic thing that can be manipulated in many ways. So we're going to try that with the bass. And how my philosophy is today, what we're going to try to do is create interesting movement within the bass itself inside of Serum so that it's doing like, it's just, I don't know, evolving on its own. Just like if you were to pluck a stand-up bass or a bass guitar, it doesn't just go ba, you know, it goes bow. I did a pitch shift in my voice there. You get the idea. Bow. The filter comes down, the harmonic spectrum changes a little bit over time. There's some pitch variation in there. You know, a lot of things change, and it gives it a sense of reality because it's a real instrument. And we're going to do that here as well. Okay, so all I have right now is just a single oscillator. Sounds like this. So yeah, if you're listening on laptop speakers or something, maybe the super low notes don't even come across to you. I don't know. The thing is not free of harmonics right now, so you might hear some stuff there, but we're going to add a lot of harmonics into it. And the first thing I'm going to do is what's called FM synthesis, which is frequency modulation. And if we just think about the words, frequency modulation. Frequency, how frequent, how quickly the waveform is rolling by, so to speak, into your eardrums, which is the pitch of the sound, frequency. Modulation, changing it to modulate the frequency. So in frequency modulation synthesis, which is a whole category of synthesis, by the way, that's not the primary type of synthesis that you get out of Serum, but other synths do that entirely. However, Serum can do it as well. You are basically taking an oscillator and causing it to change the pitch of another oscillator. So I'm going to take this oscillator A and I'm going to cause it to change the pitch of oscillator B, but it's going to change the pitch so fast that you won't be able to hear that the pitch is changing. So we're going to try to do that slowly, so maybe we can even start by really hearing the pitch changing. So let's see what we can do. Let's take this note. I'll take a D because that's the key we're in. So I'm playing a D down here, and I'm going to actually turn off the volume of the first oscillator so we can't hear it. Now we're only hearing the second one. Also note that the second one is an octave higher than the first one. Here we say the octave is -1, here we see the octave is 0. Also, both waveforms are in phase. They both are in their down cycle first, then they're up like this. That's actually something good to note. And I'm going to set their random phase to off, so they always start in exactly the same place. Since they're starting at the middle, it's actually up cycle first, up cycle, then down cycle, up cycle, then down cycle. And okay, what we're going to do is set this one's octave way, way down, just so we can try to hear what the FM is doing, so -4. And I'm going to slowly bring in this FM knob. It says FM from A, meaning it's going to take frequency modulation. It's going to take this wave, and it's going to modulate the pitch of this wave. Remember, this one is turned off, so we're not even hearing it. All we're hearing is its effects on this one. And I've pitched it down so far that it's below audible range for us. And let's see what happens. You hear now the pitch? Woo, 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 woo. That's the pitch of the thing. I'll put it up an octave in case it's too low. It's like a super, super wide vibrato, right? Do it too much and it's gonna go crazy. It's kind of cool, actually. Okay, so that's the idea. That's actually what's happening. That's not the sound I'm going to make at all, but that's what's happening. This one is modulating the pitch of this one. Now when we bring it up an octave, yeah, it's definitely like a crazy spaceship vibe for sure. I'm going to bring it up an octave and let's see what happens. Okay, it's still modulating the pitch, but it's modulating the pitch so fast that you don't really hear it as a whoa, 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 whoa anymore, or I should say a wow, 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 you know, up and down. The variation in the pitch is so fast that it's becoming a kind of, it sounds like a tremolo at this moment, but it will become a pitched sound. Now it's up another octave. Ooh, how cool is this, hey? And up another octave. Now I'll play a note lower. This is more of the tone I'm going for. So I'll turn it off. This is the original tone. This is just oscillator B, and then we're going to fade in the frequency modulation from oscillator A. So this knob controls how drastic is the pitch shifting happening. That's all it's controlling. Pretty cool. So that's the idea behind FM in a nutshell. Modulating the frequency of one oscillator with another. I could choose to have this oscillator be heard as well, but I'm not interested in that today. It's an octave lower than this one, and it's imparting its octave lower qualities, so to speak, onto the octave higher one. And it creates these other harmonics inside, and so you get this cool sound like this, kind of a throaty sound, which is like my favorite sort of bass quality. Now you notice too that the sound is kind of interesting when you turn this up. So we should probably be able to control that somehow, because we might want to use that sometimes. So we could assign that, for instance, to the mod wheel. That might be the easiest thing to do for now. I might change that later, but let's do that. And what we're going to do is first set the lowest usable value. Like how, should it be 0? No. Like that to me. That's like as little FM as I'm ever going to want. And then this knob is going to control how much is the maximum amount of FM that I can have when I put the mod wheel all the way up. So when I put the mod wheel all the way up, I'm going to push this knob up now until it reaches a point where it sounds, loses its attractiveness. Like that's kind of cool still. So let's do that. And we're going to leave it here for now. So now I have the mod wheel able to control that sound whenever I want. Later I might assign it to velocity or to something else. There's all sorts of things you can do with it. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're also filtering currently. Not that it's going to do anything right now, but okay. The point of this sound is that we're creating a very basic, what will be the word, ingredient for the final bass sound. The final bass sound is not going to end up sounding like this at all, but we don't want to have too many harmonics in there at the moment because we're going to start to add harmonics through some other means. And let's see if there's anything else we want to change about this at the moment. Perhaps, we could try putting on a bend here. That's actually pretty sweet. So a couple things we could do with this bend. This could be a start from the beginning of the thing and go down like this sort of situation. So that every time you hit the key, it does that. Which is kind of cool. It's a bit too intense right now. So that's kind of emulating the sound of the thing being plucked, right? Like as if it was a real instrument. Dom, dom, dom. It starts to have an attack to it. It kind of makes the sound feel as though it was generated in some way organically. It also means it changes more over time. Right? Like a real bass or a real instrument of some sort would. So I like that. Let's keep it. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. We're adding in subtle details, changing the tone of the thing subtly over time to give it an organic feel. So now we're going to try something with the filter. And let's just see what we can do here. Let's include B only in this And let's try for perhaps a notch. It's kind of cool. Let's put an LFO on the cutoff here. And let's cycle it like this. And make it much slower. So all this is doing is giving it subtle variation. Every time I hit a note, this LFO will be in a different place. The notch will be in a slightly different place. You never get the same hit twice, basically, right? You never hear the exact same tone happen twice. Like you could never get a bass guitar or anything similar to that, any real organic instrument, organic, is a bass guitar organic, I guess, to reproduce exactly the same tone every time. So that's another little trick we're going to try to use. Always subtly different. And we could give some more variation to this LFO thing as well. In fact, let's just do that. Let's do it more like this maybe. Let's keep it kind of low. Make it move slower. Make the effect more pronounced. Okay, so you might get the idea, right? We're just doing very subtle moves. I'm not going to spend too long on this because I could easily spend like all day on just this one part. Okay, so good. As far as the front page has gone here, we've used our oscillator A and B. We're using warp modes on both of them, so we're kind of squeezing out some movement from there. We're moving stuff through the filter. I'm just thinking about how can we max out this organic quality on just the front page before we go do anything else. Well, we have a sub oscillator here, and we also have a noise oscillator. I don't know yet if I want to use the sub oscillator. In this case, we may not. The noise oscillator, I'm iffy on, but what we can do is perhaps put in some noise. Which we're going to distort this in a minute. And the noise is going to get distorted, and this might be good, it might not be good. We're just going to have to see. Okay, so let's just go in and start distorting it, and we'll come back and change things if we need to. So I will use, I'll use the built-in distortion, and I'm also going to already turn on my OTT style multiband compressor here so that we can, as we distort the thing, squeeze all the frequencies into a kind of a flat pancake. See what happens to that, to the noise now? It gets all like broken up. Let's turn the noise off for now and see what we can get. I do realize this got quite a bit quieter, so I'll bring up the volume. I kind of already like what's happening here. But we're going to go through a few different modes, and I'll play the regular bass line. Ugh. And we are going to be filtering this too, so maybe I should even start with the filter on, just so we can feel that out. Okay, now we'll go through some crazy modes. I actually like the tube quite a lot, but let's try the tapes or Cyan Shaper. Oh my god. Now let's boost some. Okay, now we're going to move the filter a little bit to get some more interest out of it. So we may do a combination of a static filter or like a static envelope follow. We could even just straight up throw this on there. All right, so it starts, bow, comes down. And then potentially also move the filter around very subtly, maybe using this guy. So that it's not always in the same place. Now I'll add in the noise again, see what we can do. Is there a specific sound you're wanting, or are you playing around? There is a kind of specific sound I'm wanting. I'm trying to take kind of like the feel of a fretless bass, but making a digital version and a little bit more grit to it. Because it's going to have to cut through this mix here in a minute. Fretless basses actually have my favorite tone, and I'm kind of always trying to approximate a fretless bass, but improving on it if possible. There's some digital artifacts coming through in the sound of the distortion right now that I'm not digging. We'll see if we can mask that or not. So that does an interesting thing, bringing the noise in, hey? Really changes it. Not sure which I like better. I kind of like it without. And then we're going to try some phaser and chorus situations here. And we're probably going to also have to like have another set of effects after this as well. We'll see. I'm going to take a EQ and spike it. Or notch it. And we'll move this guy around on another LFO. U. Much slower. Right, so now it's got this thing happening. If you don't know about notch stuff, like, honestly, so much of the crazy dubstep whatever stuff comes from these tight notches that just move around, and you just get this kind of thing happening if you have enough harmonics in your sound. Let's try a... Remember, the OTT is going to just flatten everything. So we can put a whole bunch of effects right before it, even if they're changing the frequency spectrum, and the OTT is, for the most part, going to just steamroll it. So I don't know if I like the chorus exactly. It's not doing so much, just stereo widening a little bit. Let's try the phaser on a low frequency. Just finding more and more subtle ways to make the thing change. And once you've got this chain going a little bit, you can go back and change parameters on the original sound, and they'll have more drastic effects because all the effects will process the parameters you're changing. So for instance, we have this bend thing happening. Right, so now it's more intense, kind of maybe even nicer. We can play with our mod wheel and see what happens now. Insanity. Okay, so this doesn't sound any good to me anymore at its lowest point, so that means we need to move this up to the point where it becomes nice again, and then bring this down. Right, so we just get a little bit of, I don't know. Okay. We can play around a little bit with the where the low pass is hitting right now as well, and just see what we get. What frequency are we at right now? 216, 486. Right, we're letting a lot of high frequencies through now. I don't mind it where it is there. Let's try some resonance. Drive. Okay, this is sounding decent. I'm going to start processing it outside of Serum as well. Here we are. Let's grab an EQ. Let's cut out some of these super lows here. Am I getting enough resolution on this thing? I assume I should be, as I normally do. Resolution maximum. Yeah, so we can see that's the lowest note I'm going to play. Oh no, actually that's a lie. This is the lowest note I'm going to play. The next one here. So there. So I'm going to cut off everything below that note. I mean, I'm on a ridiculously steep filter here. I don't want that. 48 is fine. Now I'm going to shape a little bit of tonal stuff just with the EQ. I'm just going to play around looking for frequencies that I like and maybe removing something I don't. We'll have to see. There's a lot of octave coming through. I can see it even right here. Makes the sound kind of tubby feeling. This right here, it's giving me funny peak names. D sharp 2 and then C sharp 1, but they should actually be an octave. I think it's just the resolution of the thing playing against us here. So if I pull down on here, I'm going to remove an octave for this note only, right? Because the EQ doesn't move when the note changes. How cool would that be? But just as an example, let's pull this guy out. Now, depending on what speaker system you're listening on, you're going to hear this or not. So let's bring it back in. Gone. So this adds a kind of fullness, but right now it's too much fullness. It gets kind of bloated sounding to me. This happens in bass sounds when there's too much of the first harmonic present. First harmonic. The two terms, harmonic and partial, if you ever studied that stuff before, I get these backwards all the time, so I apologize. I believe the first partial is actually the fundamental. They call the fundamental one of the partials, partial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah. And when you're using the word harmonic, there's the fundamental, harmonic 1 is the octave, then the fifth, and the octave, and so on like that. So this first harmonic causes a lot of bloatiness in sounds. Depending on how your synth is set up, you can actually go in and change that in the synth itself. In this current setup, it's a bit hard to do. If I was to forego this notch, which I could, perhaps, I would be able to key track my notes I'm playing and notch out the octave, and it would remain notching out the octave for every key that I play. So it's kind of like a movable EQ in that way, but I would lose what I'm doing with the notch here, which, who knows, maybe I don't need what I'm doing with a notch. Maybe I do. I kind of like it better. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to pull out some of this frequency, but not so much. Maybe like that. Yeah, and then we'll see how the rest of them play with it. I'm going to widen it a little bit. Hi Max, always enjoying your live stream, South Africa here. Wow, thanks for the great tips. No problem. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you like it. So this EQ cut is grabbing into some of the fundamentals as the notes get higher, which may or may not be a problem. I don't know. Shamkar, hello. Welcome. How are you doing today? This is a very low note. This is D flat. We're playing C sharp. Like if you study it, all of your frequency response of your monitors or your car stereo or whatever, you'll find that like when you get below E flat, a lot of speaker systems can't reproduce those frequencies, even with decent sized cones. You still are losing a lot of energy at those frequencies. So that's what forces a lot of electronic music producers to produce tunes that are in F sharp, E flat, G, because those are the fattest regions for most sound systems, basically. So that's something to be aware of. What chords are you putting where? D, I like the key of D minor for some reason. I use it a lot, but it is very low. And even in fact, in my car, I can't hear that low D is not fat sounding, unfortunately, which kind of bums me out. And this D flat even more so. So yeah, that's a thing to consider depending on the kind of music you're making. So now I'm going to consider boosting some frequencies just to see. Or cutting. preview. And what happens if we just like do this? Sometimes you just got to get your hands dirty in the EQ, right? You just go in and just mess with it like mad. Is this plus 17 boost? I'm also going to try a couple other things here. So I'm going to, let's see, there's so much to do. Put a Saturn on here as well and create a band, a mid band here, maybe at, I don't know, 130 up to 500 or something. And we're going to distort this again. This is the band I'm talking about. Try some different modules. Oh, that's kind of nice. Ooh. Yeah. Ah. That's the sound we do not want. Ah, I ruined it all. Where did I put my bass now? Cave bass. That'll be our bass. I kind of liked what this was doing. That's right, the diggy noise. Okay, so now we start to run into the next issue, which is that due to relationships between filters, distortion, our ears, all sorts of things, certain notes are going to cut through very clearly and certain notes are not. We're going to play it with the mix and start to work on it that way, and we'll just see first of all before I talk about anything. So with those very low notes, the harmonics that we're bringing in are getting shifted lower, relatively speaking, and we hear less of those notes. And there's ways that we can combat that. We'll see if we need to. But what I am going to do now is cut out all of the sub information, basically, from this synth, and we're going to replace it with the sub, or we're going to add the other sub that I used for this bass sound. If you remember, this sound with no sub is like this. And then the sub added in. This is very common to have two parts like that come together to make a single sound. And somewhere along this chain, potentially here, I cut out everything basically below 130 with a 30 decibel per octave filter. And that's what we're going to do here. In fact, I'm just going to pull this one over to this one. And now we'll hear what this sounds like without the sub. However, I wanted to keep the sub in that whole time until now, because the sub will cause the processing, the effects we're using, to interact differently. If it didn't have sub from the beginning, you wouldn't get the same interactions with the distortion, with the compressor, with everything, basically. So I'm doing the tone shaping with the sub in, then I'm going to remove it. Now I'm going to add back a cleaner sub. Because all the processing we're doing, including the EQing and stuff, is going to affect the consistency of the sub frequencies, which I don't really want to do. I want them to remain heavy. So I'm going to remove all that information like this, and then I'm going to just duplicate this bass line up to my sub track, and they're going to play in unison if I solve them together. So then comes the challenge of balancing the relationship between the sub-frequencies and the tonal sound, part of the sound. And this is a big point in mixing in general. Most sounds you can do this with, and is useful to do this with. Splitting the sound at least in two, if not in three, conceptually and physically. Thinking the body of the sound, meaning the fundamental notes that it's playing, versus the tone of the sound, the timbre of the sound, the actual harmonics that make a guitar sound the way it does, or a synth sound the way it does, or whatever. Having these two split in your mind allows you to balance the relative volume of the fundamental frequencies you're playing, as in how full are those frequencies in the mix. Sometimes you don't need those frequencies at all. If the point of the sound is to be a tingy little high thing, it doesn't really need to have much fundamentals in it. However, if it's a harmonic instrument playing chords, or a bass instrument, of course, you need a lot of fundamental in there. But we want to be able to control the level of the fundamental notes independently of the higher harmonics. The fundamental notes, we're not thinking of those as being heard so much as felt. Even as you get up into the mid-range with guitars and pianos and things, they're more felt in terms of you feel a fullness in your ears, in your headphones or your monitors or whatever, because the frequency spectrum in those lower mid-ranges is getting filled out. But what you're picking up on as the sound of the notes is this higher section of harmonics. And being able to balance those independently, either using a single EQ with shelving or whatever, or like we're doing here, splitting a bass between sub and harmonic section, allows you to push the, whatever you call it, harmonics up in the mix until it's a good audible level. And then you can balance the sub component individually so that you get a good feeling low end that is not bloated because you've had to push the level up so loud on the high frequencies. If they're together or you don't separate them in an EQ, that's the issue. You might be too quiet so you can't even hear it anymore, but when you make it audible, the sub becomes too loud and overpowering. So you want to be able to split those two aspects. And you can do that with all instruments. Sometimes you can split them into three aspects, having very high-end kind of sounds, middle tonal sounds, and then low fundamental sounds. So here, I'm going to mute the sub for a minute, and we're just going to play the track. And I'm thinking, is this sound audible enough in the mix itself? Those high notes are for sure. So what we're going to do is a couple of things. We might just do a traditional compressor here. I'm going to try using OTT first, just because, you know, that seems to be what I do on streams. I just use OTT for everything. And see what... okay, so now we're getting all our high frequencies back. Which actually sounds pretty dope, but I don't think I'm going to use them in this case. Actually, it's super fat. But it's too much. This is without OTT and with. So this is basically evening out our whole frequency spectrum. We're going to pull it up. I'm actually going to pull it up as high as I possibly can before it's too loud. And just give me 1 minute here because I'm going to... I don't have to do that to you people. I'm just going to turn it down for myself. There's probably a way I can do this software-wise, but I actually don't know what that is. I'm just going to turn it down for myself for a minute so I can better hear how it's poking through. Pretty loud, but I'm going to go for it right now like this. I'm also going to try to put an animate on there just to get the width. I wonder what it'll be like. Julia, hello. Glad you enjoy it. Good to have you here. Okay, so we got some... The width is actually kind of cool. I wonder, do you think we should keep that? Let's put the sub back in here. I don't know. The width might be too much. I'm gonna keep it centered for now and then we'll see. And I may even filter out some more high frequencies in here. I'm not quite sure. The spitty stuff on top is decent, but maybe not. So we are going to have other elements going on in this section, of course. It's not just going to be this bass. So if it was just the bass, I would want to keep more high frequencies in and make the thing like as big as possible. Even as it stands, it might be too big. I'm just going to have to see. But it's much more in line with what I'm looking for now. So are we getting some... No, we're not getting any glide on this thing, hey? So let's see. Oh, and then yeah, I set my synth to not work on legato, which probably should. What about even sliding down? I'm just going through making sure that all the upper octaves and fifths get slid into. We'll copy this down to the sub track. Oh, that's not the sub track. What did I just do now? I think I did that backwards somehow. This bass is clicking at the end, which means we need some release. I'm also not sold on this bass line. It absolutely may change. I just kind of, it was the first thing I found when I was making this part. Now we have the mod wheel. It's not quite what I'm looking for. It's okay. It's kind of cool though, eh? Don't know yet. Great. Mission accomplished. So I recorded some modulation there. Let's see. Not here. Okay. So I like it going ow, ow. But the second one, it's softer. I'll solo it so we can actually hear what I'm talking about. Right? First one's intense. Second one's more subtle. Third one, maybe moving upwards. This one coming down, maybe. This one, let's make it a curve like this. This one, we could also try. Maybe this is getting too high up here, I wonder. Yeah. This one can be subtle again. The tone of the bass changes so much, hey, when it gets to these higher notes. I wonder if I can, what I can do about that. Oh, there's so many notes here, what to do with all of them. So we're just continuing the process that I talked about in the beginning. Creating organic, feeling, changing. Yeah, like if this was a real thing, what would it actually do? It would actually do more than this, but we might get there. And this one we'll put it right to the top. Let's stick with that for now. Okay, I'm gonna take some time away from the bass now. It's been quite a while working on that. So I do have a lead here. I'm just using an old sound though that we used for the other section. I just want to hear what that was. Played pretty poorly though. Yeah, I like the melody, but the sound is not going to work for this section. So I'll see if I can reuse another sound. If not, then we'll find a new one. Kind of pretty. It's not really going to work for this section, unfortunately, but whatever. Okay, let's try. Man, the lack of organization in this session is just sickening. I'm going to make a new. What is an instrument that you're going to hear in like this cave dwelling Horizon Zero Dawn situation? Sorry if that was like hella loud. So kalimba is basically this thing. So that another kalimba may get lost amongst all of this. Now that I listen to this, I think I need to remove some low frequencies here. Now the bass is like super loud, hey? Yeah, flute. The ancient wooden flute, indeed. Well, I might have something like that. We'll see. Okay, how can I just make this look better? Okay, everybody go tiny. Okay, so flutes. Well, I could look in one of two places. I'll start with looking in contact. Oh, did I change contact over to be... No, okay. Okay, the hunt for the ancient wooden flute. This is like a Zelda quest. Let's go instruments, contact 5. Let's just put you in here. And you can go away. Okay, so we have some Eastern flutes in here. I wonder if we can get away with that. Maybe processing it somehow we can do something cool. Let's see. So let's start with the Chinese bamboo flute. Version of contact is too old to load this file. Oh my god. I haven't used this stuff since I upgraded and changed to Windows, so I guess it's just not going to happen. Okay, well that one just works for some reason. I don't really know that I want a contrabass flute though. I don't want that reverb baked into it, that's for sure. Yeah, that's not going to do it for me. I don't really feel like these ones sound that great. I don't know if I'm going to get it to the point where I'm happy with it. It's also only got an octave to work with. It's also like Japanese, so... I don't have a finisher to that sentence, so what? So what if it's Japanese? Yeah, I mean, we can try the koto. Even more Japanese sounding. Chinese, I don't know, sorry. Yeah, it's not gonna do it for me. Let's see. Let's think in a different way. What's analog strings gonna do for us? That's too old to load the file, god damn it. Okay, bye contact, I'm gonna figure you out later. Let's go back into Omni then. And this was Kalimba. And we will bring out you. Channel 5, channel 5. Interesting. Channel 6. Nothing. Okay. Let's see. Do I even have a track for this? Is it even going to make any sound? I don't know. Probably not, right? Here we go. Okay. So we're just going to, I don't know, try something. Let's just search flute. See what happens. These things are so loud, sorry. 1 sec. That's actually kind of a nice sound. Here's her flute. Maybe. This actually, with some tweaking, might actually work. Let's see if we can get this to do what we want. I like the tone of this quite a lot. It's a hang drum played with an electric toothbrush. So there you go. And let's make it soloed. Yeah, it's very pretty. Take the reverb off for a second. Yeah, I think so too. Let's just try some stuff here. Let's try just totally raw, running into RC20 with an initialized patch. And let's see what we can crank out of here. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it kind of fits the thing, right? Like a human instrument, but metallic, but also cave dwelling, maybe. Just gonna have to see. It might sound like complete garbage in the track, but we'll see. Probably have to replay the melody or change it. I like it, except that like sweeping gets a bit annoying to me after a while. Just trying to figure out how to best deal with that. Like if it was more regular or controlled, I might like it, but just kind of like, I don't know, bothers my ears a bit. Distracting. It's distracting. Okay, let's get rid of all of you. How do we get rid of you? Like this. And let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can remove low pass 24. Adam, hello. Welcome. So, yeah, it's okay. I don't really know the solution to this right now, how to make this what I want. Let's get rid of the beat for a minute. No, I don't know. I just don't know. Still got too much for me. What can I do? It's not terrible like that, but it's also like, yeah, not quite what I want. It's getting better though. So, let's just replay some of this here. I think we are going to get there. I mean, this might be one of those times where I'm just polishing a turd for like an hour and then it actually never becomes anything. That happens pretty regularly, but you never know if you don't try. I kind of like that even. The attack. Just like stuck on a pitch bend or something. What, you don't like the idea of polishing a turd? improved it, I think. Kind of a cool something or other. Dave, yo, welcome. Okay, so I think I've got some ideas. Let's clean up this sound a little bit. Oh, glad you could make it. I need to replay this whole thing, really. I don't remember what the melody is. Yeah. Sorry about this. Come on, Max, you can figure out the rhythm here. I'm more satisfied with that. I'm not satisfied yet, but we are getting there. Now, this thing is quite stereo. The lead sound is like in both my ears, and I don't know that I'm really into that. I'm just gonna see if this is what's causing it. No. It's somewhere earlier in the chain. Perhaps the sound itself is stereo, which is quite likely. Let's see. Yeah, I think it must be. I don't see anything in here. What did I use last time to make the thing mono? I had a plugin that I just put on and said, mono this, please. It was a... Oh yeah. It was in Omnisphere. And it was a utility, I assume, an imager. Put it to mono, please. That's actually kind of cool. Okay, let's take a break from this for a sec. Let's just listen to the track, get our bearings, get my bearings. Wow, that section is so quiet compared to the other sections of the song. That really needs to change at some point here. Caps lock key is broken, or something is wrong with it. Yeah, addictive drums for the acoustic, that's right. Always. Yeah, this section is so quiet I can hear myself talk over my headphones when it's playing. That's a problem. So I think that happened because I'm, chilled the drums out a lot. They're not hitting at full velocity like the other section was. That's not the drums. That's not the drums. Oh, the drums are hidden. Of course, we want to have some volume difference, but maybe not so drastic that, like, this is crazy going into this. Change, yeah. I mean, I like the change too. I just think it's a bit drastic when I come back to the other part. Like, I would probably, if I was listening, end up turning up one section or turning down one section and then getting blasted or disappointed with the other section. The bells, the kalimba wide, that's pretty cool actually. Let's see if we can spread this out just a little bit and see what happens if we like take out the melody, maybe take out the kick for the first go around. Oh, and the bass probably. Actual snare hits here. Need to work on these toms, I think, too. if we even remove the snares and just... Syncopation feels a bit weird without the kick and stuff, but it might work. Okay. Let's just try something. Also, this bass has no reverb at all on it right now, so it sounds a little bit to me outside the mix, even though normally you wouldn't put reverb on bass. Well, it depends on the genre, I guess, but in this case I think it does need some to have it sit back a little bit, because it's right now feels like it's in its own little world. Yeah, something else needs to come in here to... Thank you, Julia. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. Boom, 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 boom. The bass, maybe. Boom, 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 boom. Hit the pitches, man. Doom, 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 doom. Let's put a little bit of reverb on that bass. Man, it's like a rainbow, just going through an ugly, ugly rainbow going through all these tracks. It just looks... I'm not even gonna get into it. Okay, bass, 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 cave bass. What kind of reverb sends do we even have right now? Should we even have a send? Maybe we should just put it straight on the thing. We're not using verb 3 yet, so we could... Yeah, let's just try that. We'll use verb 3. Enable you, and I don't know, we're just going to choose a bass room. That sounds nice, a bass room. Let's send to the bass room from the bass. cave base, you go to verb 3 base room. That's actually quite a bit of reverb on there. It's hard to tell in the mix, which is fine. Yeah. trying to fine-tune when the thing does glides and when it re-triggers notes, the lead. The pitch shifting might be a bit much on this. Okay, let's put a little bit of delay on this sound as well, just to make it more spacious, psychedelic-y, crazy. You're the sound, right? Yes. Delay. Am I using my delays already? Really? No. Delay 1. Enable or not. Okay, I don't have this device because that's the other version. Let's get the right one. You. Yes. Okay, my preset is totally gone here, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's set this to clean, lock, give a bit of this, a bit of that. We want eighth notes. We want filters. We'll make them clean filters, frequency. This one can be a high pass. Okay, and then we can go back to this section, unlock these. This one will be eighth dotted. Let's try that. Sure. Okay, now does the melody come in right away? Nice to have just this, hey, to begin with. Maybe some other element. No melody yet. I think it needs to just be the bass, right? The bass is like going to be its own little... want some other little fluttery elements maybe that can come in, even like here. That shouldn't be there. That was actually pretty sweet though. Wonder if I can make that work even better. I wonder. Might ruin the flow too much. Maybe. Let's try. I need this to be bigger. It would be pretty funny though. I mean, it'd be funny to me. What is that? Yeah. No. Maybe. Maybe if it was refined. It's kind of cool. It would need like some cooler stuff to happen right after that though. Okay, well, just while I'm on the idea, let's just quickly try that. Do I have something I can use right away without having to think about it? Sure. Just track for the melody. Yeah, it is kind of cool. I wonder if it would. It's just kind of abrupt. What do you think about that? Should we have a chord just like bang in there right at that moment? Could be. Ah! Probably not that one, but I'm going to try it anyway. It's actually pretty sick with the... Sounds like a real electronic track now, hey? That fits. All right, let's try it. It sounds insane by itself, but with the drums and whatever, I think it might do what we want. Ah, stop. Yeah, I mean, like this actually could work. So I think we need to just modify it briefly for 1 sec. I don't really want this like mad explosion to happen every time. But I also don't really know how to avoid that. So put it in legato mode, could put the attack up. How are we going to do this? This is going to sustain forever. And we'll see what we can do about it. So for right now, it's just chords, but I am thinking about the top notes of the chords as a kind of counter melody, but that's the trick, is how to deal with that. I don't really know yet. I'm just going to do something. Jeez. Okay. Let's just try something. Nah, what am I going to do? Gotta think about that first, I guess. Man, I'm not sure. Okay, how do I make this thing not make a sound every time I touch it? There's a way to do that, and it's going to drive me crazy if it does always make a sound. There's a way to turn this off. If somebody knows that, please let me know, because I do not want to hear this thing every time I touch it. I can also just like push mute probably. Yeah, great. Okay, I'm going to try to stick more to the original harmony that I had there. Like this, doom, 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 doom. Let it fade out halfway through, how about? I wonder what that's like. Then this one, going into you're holding over, you are also holding over, I guess. You're holding, you are potentially, I don't know what you're doing, going up here. Okay, let's just see what that sounds like. I don't know if I like it very much. Do you think this idea is worth pursuing, or should I just abandon it? I don't really know. I'm going to abandon the whole stream pretty shortly, but I don't know about this idea yet. Sure about this sound either. Let's just try it on the other sound. How about this one? Gentler. In favor of the alien whale. Maybe I can just match the exact chords that the kalimba is playing, and then they will like double their voicings together. Let's try that. I think like the chill sound is a little bit better. And then what do I need here? What did I even do here? Oh yeah, I had that wrong. This is actually this. This is this. I had all, okay. Okay. I like those. Last thing I'm going to try here is first pray that... Okay, well, actually, sorry. What are we using this for earlier in the song? Oh, it's like the whole intro. I see. Pray that this effect just works. Let's see. Who makes it? Output. Movement. Movement? Is that what I want? It's going to tell me I need to license it or something, isn't it? Yeah. God damn. I own this thing, but again, new computer, it's just not there. Okay, movement is going to like make this thing do cool stuff. It's not going to make it do it right now, though, so that's going to be another day. Wonder about this chord here. Oh, man. Okay. Everything wants to go back to D at that moment. The melody is even leading to D. Can we hit something just while I'm on this train of thought? Can we hit something, a new chord that has D in it, has D as the top note there, but it's not a D chord. And maybe is not a B flat. I mean, we could do B flat too, but I use it all the time. So let's try... Just B minor. Chords with D in them that would work. G minor, it's in the key. I'm kind of thinking of something outside the key. I wonder if we can get something. I realize this chord probably sounds like complete garbage unless you can get it in your ear how we got there. That's kind of what it wants to do, right? Come to here. But we don't want that. We want something else. Or I want something else anyway. Ugh. Why is this not working for me? Must it be B flat? Must it be? We'll put a B flat just because. Because I can't think of anything else, basically. Where's Jacob Collier when you need him? just so boring. You really need to use a B flat? Well, we'll try it at least just to see. That was a very ugly transition. No, that's not it. Could hit B minor. I mean, it does work. Jeez. Like, that's fine, right? It's just okay. But we don't want to live in a world of just okay music. At least I don't. Get that hella low bass note. What did I do wrong? That's a wild sound. I don't know how that's going to work out either. But this is like half the fun, right? You just got to try some crazy shit and see what happens. Not sure about that. Like, you can make that work. We're in a new key for sure. All of a sudden, it is interesting. It is interesting. What if we split this guy even? Raise you here, split you and raise you here. My goodness. I'm just going off the deep end right now. Sorry about this. Just has to happen. And then on this last hit, I'm going to run a F sharp 7 arpeggio, thinking about B minor as my target. I don't know. But it makes me smile, so that's fun. Crazy music shit just makes me smile all the time if it just is wacky and whatever. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I haven't changed the rest of the music, but you know, just that first chord kind of works now. I'm probably just going to have to leave this like it is, and then I'll come back to it another day and look at it and be like, why did I ever think that was a good idea? But, you know. Well, it makes me laugh, but I don't want it. I don't want it in the song. So how many times do you think we can push Control Z to get back to where we were here? Let's see. Yeah. I mean, I could just delete all the stuff too, but there we go. Yeah, and that's... Okay, good. Well, that was adventurous. I don't know if it resulted in so much. We got a little bit done, and it was fun to work on anyway. It's fun to experiment with some stuff, so happy to be here with all of you, everybody who stopped by, and if you're in the future watching this asynchronously, that's cool too. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you everybody for your support and comments and chatting with me. I'm always happy to do that. I'll be here every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. This was the last time I'm going to be working on this song on stream, so the next time you hear this song, it will be finished and perhaps sound nothing like this at all. And also by finished, I might mean not finished. I don't know. We'll see. I want to finish it, but That doesn't mean I will anytime soon. It also doesn't mean that I'm going to end up liking it in the end. I don't really know yet. But I've had a great time working on it, and it's been a good learning process and fun to do it with a group like this. So yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next week, minus 2.5 hours from now, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you all. Have a good day. See you later.